armed forces provides amazing training.
I think about veterans as people who have already figured out how to serve.
My military skills have been essential.
Hiring veterans is a great business case. They're the best employees we have. They're flexible, hardworking, and they're used to a global workplace.
If that isn't an asset to any company, I don't know what is.
Hiring America, the award-winning television job fair for American veterans. Connecting you with companies who know your value. Learn about employers who are actively hiring today and organizations that support veterans. Your future success starts right here on Hiring America.
Hiring America is produced in cooperation with the VFW. No one does more for veterans.
It's been 50 years since the United States' involvement in the Vietnam War. Over 58,000 Americans lost their lives and countless families were impacted. Some call it the War of the Forgotten. Many are unable to visit the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. So the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund has created a replica of the wall that is designed to travel to communities throughout the country. Since its dedication, the Wall That Heals has visited more than 400 cities and towns throughout the nation, spreading the memorial's healing legacy to millions. We had the opportunity to follow TMC Transportation and their Vietnam veteran driver, David Wheeler, to the U.S. Military Academy and saw firsthand why it's so important that we remember.
We are privileged to have the Wall That Heals here at West Point. Over the next few days while it's here, I hope you will visit the wall and the Mobile Education Center to learn more about this period of our history. I hope that you will take the opportunity to reflect and to remember those who served and those who gave their last full measure of devotion.
The Vietnam War really was one of the most divisive periods in our nation's history. It's the first time in our history really where our soldiers were blamed for the war. And that's something we hadn't seen before, and luckily we haven't seen since then.
When the Vietnam veterans came home, we didn't get the welcome all the other vets get today. And it was one of our missions to say, hey, we're not gonna let this happen again. So when all the vets come together, that brotherhood exists, we thank each other. You know, anytime a Vietnam vet sees another vet, we always say, welcome home.
The wall is instrumental in our nation's history in that it has really helped to heal a generation and also our nation through that divisive period that was the Vietnam War. And so the Wall That Heals, our mobile half-scale replica, has been traveling around the country since 1996. And we call it the Wall That Heals because that's exactly what it provides for many of our Vietnam veterans.
Last winter, the Truckload Carriers Association announced that they were going to ask their membership to support the folks from the Wall That Heals, helping them celebrate the 50th anniversary of the start of the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. And the anchor leg was going to be West Point at the end of the year. So for us to be the trucking representative for this particular leg was kind of important to us. It was a big deal.
And we are off.
At TMC, there's a lot of different meanings. TMC stands for too much chrome, more cargo. One of my favorites is the Marine Corps, being a former Marine. But my favorite is teamwork moves cargo. And that's what this was all about today, was moving this memorial to the Vietnam veterans from point A to point B and doing it the TMC way.
My heart's just a thumping, man.
TMC has been supportive of the military long before it was kind of popular to do so. David Wheeler, the driver that we had bring this in, is a Vietnam veteran himself, served during that time and in that conflict. And when he was approached about doing this, he readily volunteered.
Being chosen to drive for this company, I mean, it was a total surprise to me. I came in from a run, and Glenn McCreevy, he came up to me and he said, I've got a special project I need for you to work on. It's hauling the wall, and I about passed out because it's an honor for me. I mean, an extreme honor. All the way up here. I mean, it's just been an overwhelming experience I will treasure for my remaining time.
Probably one of the most joyful things about doing this project was being able to ride up in the truck with Mr. Wheeler, sharing his experiences from the time he served over in Vietnam, not only one tour, but 2 tours. And it really gave me an understanding of Vietnam that I had never had.
On our return trip, it was so hard to be accepted because of the time and era that we came in. Now, because of all events that have come through our country, there's recognition that was well overdue to a lot of the veterans. Our saying is, some gave all and all gave some. And I feel like one of the ones that just gave some.
We'll be back with more of Hiring America in a moment.
We got the word that the wall was going to come here, and right away I put the word out to all the brothers saying, hey, moving wall's coming to West Point, let's go out and help. So here we are.
Anytime that we could do an escort and do the recognition and bring to the area something that's going to benefit and educate everybody else, the public, children, as to what this means and what these people went through and what they sacrificed and what they've given to us.
I think this is a wonderful thing, absolutely wonderful, that these people dedicate the time and money to go around and show people with the wall. It's a great experience.
This makes me very proud, that I can bring something like this to the area and be part of something that's so important.
I personally have seen healing moments at the wall in DC and at the wall that heals on the road. For example, it was in San Diego a couple of years ago, and we were just about ready to break the wall down, put it back on the truck, and go to the next site. And a woman came up and asked our staff, is this the wall? She says, yes, this is the Vietnam Veterans Wall, our half-scale replica. She said, no, but is this the Vietnam Wall? And our staff member said, yes. She says, you don't understand, I'm an American, but I've lived in France for more than 3 decades. My brother's on the wall, and I've never had a chance to visit him. So whether it is the wall in DC or the wall that heals that is on the road, bringing that kind of healing experience to communities around the country continues that healing that was started in 1982 and continues today.
I've watched people visit the wall down in DC. I have watched the tenderness and the emotion. When somebody does an etching, when they put that paper over the name, you feel it. You feel the loss, you feel the love, and it goes deep.
I wear POW MIA bracelets. This is the 3rd one that I've worn for 25 years, and he's still missing. I've had 2 others where they have found the people that were, MIA, and when I have found out that they have, come back, I've gone to the wall and put their bracelets at the panel where their names are at.
Every veteran in the Vietnam War knows someone that's on that wall. Every one of them has to know some, and probably a lot. I've got about 22 classmates that are on the wall.
Driving an honorable memorial to our veterans. I don't know what more individual could do or receive to be a patriot. This memorial is going to give a presentation that there were servicemen that did sacrifice and give their full being for our country. And to me, it's an honor just to view their pictures and keep in mind that they were brothers over there.
To do something for a veteran and get that reward, it's hard to put into words, but it's just that feeling, that smile, you know, the hug. We wouldn't have what we have today if these people didn't sacrifice what they did.
When you look at 58,000 names on the wall, you realize what a price America paid.
And for those of you who have come seeking solace and healing, it is my sincere hope that you find it here. So as we come to this wall, we also come to honor the courage and the sacrifice of more than 58,000 brave men and women whose names are etched upon this wall. And that I hope in their eyes, we will have earned what they did for all of us.
This Military Minute is brought to you by the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The VFW has a place for you.
Sergeant Chuck Dybel couldn't stand the idea of someone he didn't know risking their life for him and his family, so he decided it was his job to make that sacrifice. He enlisted in the Army in 2008 and served as an airborne ranger. When Chuck got home, he planned to finish his undergrad in political science at the University of Arizona, then on to law school. But his plans were nearly interrupted when his GI Bill just couldn't quite cover the costs. That's when the VFW stepped in with a Sport Clips Help a Hero scholarship. Help a Hero scholarships are awarded twice throughout the year, exclusively to service members and veterans, and help cover the cost of tuition and fees. So far this year, 85 veterans have received scholarships. Applications are currently being accepted for the 2016 spring semester. For more information on the Help a Hero Scholarship Program, log on to vfw.org. With his education costs covered, Sergeant Dybel can now concentrate on what's really important, his upcoming wedding to Jenna and serving his country in some other capacity.
Hiring America will be back in a moment.
Back in April, we introduced SHRM Enterprise Solutions, which is essentially a one-stop solution that allows companies to augment their marketing of their veteran hiring initiatives.
How do companies go about creating these websites?
Essentially, they just go to enterprise.shrm.org and all the information is in there. They contact us and we get the process going with them.
Sourcing and recruiting diverse candidates can be challenging. However, tools and technology have helped to bridge the gap that once existed between recruiters and potential candidates by making their job openings more visible to a range of candidates. Joining us now to discuss how the American Heart Association has perfected their recruitment strategies is Michael Goldberg, the Director of Talent Acquisition for the association. Thanks for joining us here on Hiring America.
Thanks for having me.
We understand that you're often referred to as the super recruiter.
So I'm a 25-year veteran in human resources, but the last 15 years have been focused on talent acquisition. I found that hiring and offering people jobs was a lot more satisfying than the other side, which was laying them off or dealing with performance issues.
In what ways has your organization managed to recruit veterans?
We've used technology. We have gone to job fairs. We've hosted our own career fairs that focused not only on diverse candidates, but also inviting military veterans, people that were either that are transitioning out or former officers that are coming, into the workforce.
What new technological advancements and resources are now available to hiring managers to make it easier for them to recruit military vets?
So there's quite a few actually. About 2 years ago, we invested in microsites that focus on military veterans along with some other diverse ethnic groups. And we've done really, really well. Overall, we've had over 69,000 visits with 14,000 applies overall.
What do veterans have in terms of skill sets that set them apart and make them such excellent candidates for you?
Very driven. They know they can march south one day and then march north the next without even batting an eye. Disruption is a part of their everyday business. They know how to move quickly, and those are some of the key facets that we look at in our organization.
What's the key to ensuring that hiring managers in your company and others are constantly recruiting and finding the top vets for their jobs?
It's the awareness. It's about employee resource groups where we do have veterans within our organization already, and they come in and present on different topics, and they teach our hiring managers what we're looking for. You don't think of the military vet as someone that just only knows one thing when they know so many different things and they can bring so many talents to an organization. So it's really about getting the vets involved in educating our hiring managers so that they can go out and successfully hire veterans.
What advice do you have to veterans who are watching, interested in finding a job, maybe struggling?
First and foremost, they need to be able to understand the business world outside of military life. If you don't have that or don't take the time to really understand it, it does make for a tougher transition. I think it's finding someone that's willing to teach you, finding a mentor, establishing a mentor program for the military, because the military, while they do a great job in transitioning them out, there needs to be a better job of us providing the solutions as organizations trying to help them, because that's the toughest hurdle, is really kind of understanding the day-to-day lingo of the working world. They're used to the day-to-day lingo of the military world.
Tell us a little bit more about the American Heart Association.
Well, the American Heart Association is one of the largest nonprofit organizations in the United States, more so even globally. We're not just a nonprofit organization that just focuses on fundraising. We take the opportunity to advocate for health, whether it's around smoking cessation, childhood obesity, ways to become more healthy, exercising, eating right. And by the year 2020, we have an impact goal, and that impact goal is reduce cardiovascular risk by 20% and improve the health of Americans by 20%.
Michael, thank you for joining us on Hiring America.
Thank you for having me.
The U.S. trucking industry has committed to hiring 100,000 veterans in the next 2 years. Military experience, regardless of MOS, is highly valued. You can find these jobs from leading employers on the website truckingtrack.org. One of the leading employers of veterans in the trucking industry is TMC Transportation.
I'm a driver for TMC. I've been with the company for approximately 22 years. I've been driving over the road from 48 states here in the U.S. and all the areas in Canada. I joined the Army at 17 and went over to Germany, where I learned to drive. I spent a short time over there before I was transferred to Vietnam. TMC is one of the most enjoyable places I have been since I've retired from the military. Being a truck driver over the road, I enjoy the comforts of being my own boss and visiting the many places and all, and having supervisions of my company providing me the cargo and destinations.
Hiring America will be back in a moment.
Thanks for watching. The information we've just shared is all on our website, hiringamerica.net. Log on and find out about more companies who are hiring veterans, and don't forget to connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Lauren Wonko. Join us next week for another episode of Hiring America.
Hiring America is produced in cooperation with the VFW. No one does more for veterans. Promotional consideration provided by JetBlue Airways. This program made possible by the generous support of the following companies: